Side the Hustle. I'm Faith, I'm a nail technician. I've been doing it for about 7 years now, since while I was in school, and continue doing it after I left. And I do this full time. Viewers discretion. This one might touch some people, I don't know, but this is the funniest joke I've heard recently. So this was on Twitter. So there was two pictures. There was a picture of Paul Walker, rest in peace, and then Summer Walker. And the caption was, "Which Walker do you reckon smells worse right now?" Because you know with the Summer Walker thing, she doesn't bath properly. And then Paul Walker, you know, he's not around no more, so I found that funny. I'm sorry if you didn't, I'm really sorry. I spend a lot of my day talking in here. On my day off, my ideal situation would either to be at home watching movies doing nothing, which is, I know it's not going out, but to me that's like ideal, or going and eating where I don't have to talk because I'm eating, or to go to the cinema or something where I don't have to talk again because the movie's playing. But anything where I can just be like, I can be quiet or like chilled and mellow, that's perfect for me. And with someone, maybe not too many people, not like a massive group. Obviously I do like to socialise, I'm not like a weirdo, but I would prefer in general to be in like a smaller group and be quiet and be chilled and just be calm. That's my ideal day out. First thing I would say is that it's great being self-employed because you can kind of control your own hours. That's the biggest perk for me, that I can work when I want to work. So I work at the minute from Tuesday to Saturday, so I take Sunday and Monday as my days off, which is great because Sunday is obviously day of rest, and then Monday no one's out, so it's the best day for me to go out because it's the quietest day to be outside. Tuesday to Saturday, my hours at the minute are from 12 to 7. Then on Thursdays I like to finish a bit earlier, just as like a midweek half day rest sort of thing. So I start at 12, all of my bookings are done online, majority of them anyway. So before I get into work, I kind of know what my day's going to be like. I know what appointments, what treatments I'm going to be doing for the day. Come in for 12, normally I meet my first client at the same time. I don't take a lunch break because I like to work back to back throughout the day. I've tried taking lunch breaks and I feel like when I do, I get a bit lazy. Like after I've eaten, I just want to go home. So I prefer to work from 12 straight to 7 and then I'll go home and eat after. And that's pretty much my days. There's like, come in, I might do maybe, depending on the treatment, if it's like larger ones with more nail art, I might do 3 a day. If it's shorter ones, like more infills, plain full sets or manicures, I can do up to 8 people in a day. So that's 3 to 8 conversations every day that I'm having with 3 to 8 different people. But it's fun. Like I tend to be quite shy and quite quiet, but it's a good way for me to kind of get out of that because I'm meeting different people, I'm having different conversations, I'm learning to do small talk, which I'm not very good at all the time. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's pretty straightforward. I spend my day doing what I enjoy, spend my day painting, drawing pictures, and then when I go home is when the serious stuff starts because I've got to balance the books and make sure I'm keeping note of what I've made today, what I've spent today. At the moment I have an accountant. When I was trying to do it myself it was a lot more complicated, but now I just kind of send everything over to him. It doesn't get too tricky until the end of the year though, which is when you've got a file. But yeah, other than that it's pretty straightforward. I come in, do my job, go home, keep doing my job, and then go to sleep. Has always been and will always be apocalypto, which is weird for me because generally I don't like movies with subtitles. But obviously this movie, none of it is in English, it's all supposed to be in like ancient, Native American. But I really enjoy action movies, and that movie is action from beginning to end. And I also like historical movies, and that one's, I think it's supposed to be based on true life, but we'll kind of never know because it's like an unwritten past. It's a very good movie. It's on Netflix, Apocalypto. I definitely recommend it, it's my favourite. When I first started doing nails, I was still in school. I think I was in year 10, and it was just a hobby. So that's kind of when nail art started to become a thing in the UK, and then social media was kind of starting around then as well. But I started watching YouTube tutorials. I can't remember the lady's name, but there was this lady on YouTube who used to do these really like things that I'd never seen done on nails before, because prior to this everyone was doing like wide tips, or like you get the Vietnamese flicks, which was everyone was doing at that point in time, but no one was doing like actual art on nails. So I saw that and I kind of gravitated towards it. So I would do it on my nails, my friends' nails in school. I would buy like little bits and bobs as my treats to myself, and then this is when I was starting to build up my kit, and I didn't even realise it because I was just buying them for fun. For Christmas I would ask for like nail stuff and things like that, but I didn't actually start thinking about doing nails as a career until it came to college, well, leaving college, when it was time to apply for uni, because my school was very much like pushing the UCAS thing, like apply to uni, that's like the only way you're going to succeed in life. So obviously I was doing that, but I knew that I didn't want to go to uni straight away. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go at all, but I knew I definitely didn't want to go straight away. So I applied, but I applied for a deferred place, and I took a gap year where I said I wasn't going to do nothing, but I was going to do something that I enjoyed but would also qualify me to do something at the same time. So at the time I was looking into like cooking courses, I was looking into different beauty things, and I found the LCBT, which is the beauty college that I ended up going to. The plan was to only go for 1 year in that gap year and then go to Roehampton the year after to finish my degree, or to start and finish my degree. But by the time I had finished that first year in beauty school, I got really good at it. I've got my first job in a salon while I was there as well, and I really started to enjoy it, and I started to see not a future from it, but I could see potential in myself in making this a bigger thing. So even though nail art wasn't such a big thing at that point in time, and I hadn't even really started developing my own personal brand, I was kind of putting my name out there on Instagram. Anything I did, I was taking pictures and posting it on social media, and I was getting really good responses, and I was like, I've got a job. And because I'm quite laid back as well, and I was really young, I felt like if this doesn't work out now, I can always go back to uni later, I can get another job later on. So yeah, I just kind of went with it. It was very much a going with the flow sort of situation. I found something I liked, I got good at it, I found a way to make money from it, enough money for me to survive on at the time. And then yeah, because I didn't have many responsibilities at the time. I was living with mommy and daddy, like they weren't too happy about it, I will give you that, but it worked out in the end. They're happy now, I'll say that. But yeah, it was just a hobby, something that I found that was fun for me, that I didn't really see much future in, but I saw potential in my passion in it, and I just went with it. So that's what inspired me. That's what I would say inspired me. I would say is when I left my last job, when I was working in a salon. And because with my career, with doing nails in general, it's always been a hobby. It's just kind of flowed. I never really said, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. It just kind of happened. But when I left that last job is when I really said to myself, I want to work for myself. I want to do this full time. If I'm going to be stressed out, I want to be stressed out doing my own thing. I want to be stressed out because I'm building something for myself, not stressed out because I'm trying to manage someone else's stuff or trying to build someone else's vision. So I'd say, yeah, when I just decided to quit and just do this full time, that's when I was most determined to make it successful, because obviously there's people that are going to doubt me. My old employer was doubting me, so I was like, yeah, if I'm going to do it, it's going to work, basically. So that's when I said to myself, yeah, this is going to happen now. I say my clients, my followers on Instagram, and then obviously friends, family, my partner, because a lot of the time I get in my head and I feel like I should be doing a lot more than I am, and they tend to ground me and remind me that I'm doing really good, how proud of me they are, and that really helps to push me, to remind me that what I'm doing it's amazing in itself and that I should keep going. And I mean, it's good to look to the future and to push myself, but it's also good to remind yourself that what you're doing, that what I'm doing now it's good. Like, I'm doing a lot, like I've come far already, and I should be proud of where I am. So they help a lot. It's nice to be reminded. A lot of my guilty pleasures have to do with overspending, I will not lie. It's tricky because when you have a business, you kind of get paid every day. So it feels like if I spend this now, I'm gonna get it back tomorrow. Like it's just easy. But you shouldn't. Don't be like Faith. This like where I mentioned previously about paying yourself a salary. That's why this is very important. Pay yourself a set amount, and then have the business money for the business specifically, and then you can obviously pay yourself in bonuses after you've sorted out your expenses later. But I had a very bad habit when I first started, because doing nails was my hobby. I had a very bad habit of overbuying stock. So there'll be situations where I'll see something online, I'll see a trend, I don't even know if anybody wants me to do it yet, but I'm gonna buy it, and then no one ever asks for it, and then it's just sitting in my cupboard. So that's like a cash loss. Overbuying stock just because I like it for myself, I'm just buying it, but it's not profitable. So you have to find a balance. You have to make sure first of all that you're keeping track of your outgoings and your incomings, and finding the balance between keeping on trend but then also maintaining profitability. Like you don't want to overspend. Just because it's for the business doesn't mean it's something you should buy. You need to do a lot of market research. You need to make it make sense. Also with overspending, food. I'm always buying food because I do quite long hours here. I don't tend to eat lunch during the day, and I have a bad habit of justifying my habits of eating out by like knowing that, because I don't really eat lunch during the day. I feel like, yeah, okay, I can go out tonight and eat, but there's food at home, there's rice at home, all of that. But because of how bad I am with my spending in general, it's become a habit, and I'm kind of in the process of kicking that now, and I'm benefiting from it a lot. My accounts are starting to make sense now, finally, because yeah, just manage your spending, because I didn't, but I'm getting better now. There you go. Particularly, I can't say the word.
A few moments later.
Particularly in the nail industry, is that I've got a good attention to detail. I'd say that with every client I try to do my best, like give 100%, make sure everything's clean, and especially with social media and Instagram, you can pick up on anything. So I always work with that in mind, and my clients know that, so they know when they come here, what they see on social media, what they see on Instagram is what they're going to get when they leave. And that's been a major selling point for me, because I know there's a lot of nail techs out there, there's a lot of nail salons out there, but one of the things I hear repeatedly is that some people will see things online, they'll go in and get it done, and it doesn't match. But with my clients, I feel like I've got such a good I've built up such a large clientele, like repeat clientele, because of my attention to detail. So even though it sounds like something that isn't really unique for me, I'd say it probably is, because that's why I gain a lot of my new clientele, and why they keep coming back to me, because of my attention to detail. Okay. Success to me, as to most people, I would think is financial freedom. So like I mentioned previously, I want to be in a position where I can choose to work. Obviously I still want to always do nails, like practically doing it, but I want to be in a position where I have the choice. So I'm not doing it because I have to, but I'm doing it because I want to. Okay, I'm quite an emotional person in general. I don't like to admit it, so this is a secret I'm sharing with you guys. I'm quite an emotional person, so I try my best not to let it, but a lot of the time if something's going on with me personally, it can definitely affect me in the workplace, because what I do is quite creative as well. If I feel like emotional, a lot of the time I'll struggle to let my creativity flow, and it's tricky, because it's kind of like you want to leave your personal life at home, but then being here, this is kind of my thing as well. Like I feel comfortable to be emotional here because it is kind of my workspace at the same time. Whereas if I was like going to somewhere else to work, I might not feel as comfortable expressing how I feel, like letting my emotions show while I'm working. So it's a positive and a negative, I guess, but it definitely, my emotions can kind of get in the way of how well or how easily I can get a job done. But it's not always a bad thing as well, to be fair, because sometimes emotion does help when it comes to art. But I would say that's my biggest hindrance, the fact that it can affect me so much. I wish it didn't, but I definitely wish I was more organised, definitely, because I'm very forgetful. Very, very forgetful. If I don't write something down, I don't put something in the same place where it's always been, I'll lose it, I'll forget. It's a nightmare. Along with that as well, I kind of wish that I'd done more research into owning my own business, because like I mentioned earlier, I kind of just, when I started it, everything was just kind of going with the flow. I just enjoyed it and I kind of went with it. I didn't really do much looking into like the tax thing and the accounts thing. I had to kind of figure it out while I was in the thick of it. So if I could go back, I would definitely change that. It's a weird one because I didn't know this is what I wanted to do, but I kind of wish I did know that I wanted to do this as a career, because then I would have known to look into it a bit more and started the way that I am now, and everything would have been a lot smoother. But it's not that big of a deal because I'm getting there now. I'm still young, I've still got time. It's not the end of the world, but it would have been nicer to have been in this position earlier on. 5 do's and don'ts. So first, for the do's, I would say is if your business is based on a passion or a hobby, try to always bring it back to that, because when you get involved in running a business, it can often become more about the paperwork and more about the accounts and stuff, and then you kind of lose your passion for, like, you lose the reason why you actually started in the first place. So try to always bring it back to something fun. The way that I do that is I do a lot of link ups with my friends and family, and I do free treatments. Well, not necessarily they're free treatments, but I describe it more as like I do nails in my free time. So I kind of make it like still a hobby as well as when I come into work. I kind of separate it a little bit. When I come into work, I'm in work, I'm dealing with clients. Obviously you've got to be more professional, but then I have my little one-to-ones with my family and friends, and make it a bit more fun and just like gossip while you're doing it. And it's yeah, just finding that balance, making sure you're always reminding yourself that this is something I enjoy. Get an accountant or financial advice as soon as you can. It gets very complicated if you don't, so just do it. Just do it. Pay yourself a salary. Along with that, pay yourself a salary. Try to keep the business profits, the business money with the business, and then you pay yourself a set amount each month. It's going to make everything a lot easier for you, especially if you haven't managed to get financial advice or get in contact with an accountant straight away. Social media is another big one, especially if you're working in a field where it's visual. So I use Instagram a lot. That's my main way to advertise what I do and the way I gain most of my clients. You can, if you're having issues trying to manage your social media presence along with running your business, there's a lot of apps out there that can help you schedule your posts. So I currently use an app called Hootsuite. So on Sunday, which is my day off, I sit down and I just prepare all my posts for the next 2 weeks or for the week. And you can pick what day and what time it goes up, so you can post once every day. That's going to help with your algorithm and get more traction on your page as well. So it makes sure you're keeping track of what's going on there. Always talk about your business. I struggle with that a little bit, but you never know where your next client or your next big opportunity is going to be hiding. So any chance you get, network. Any social event you're at, network. It doesn't have to be like forceful either. Just mention what you do. A lot of the time people are going to be interested if you mention that you're working for yourself. But yeah, just get out there. Don't be shy. It's a part of you, so when you're introducing yourself, introduce your business. Why not? Make sure you're always putting your all into any piece of work that you do. The reason I say that is because word of mouth is very powerful. So even if you personally feel like you could have done better, at that point in time, try to always put 100% into anything that you do, because the client's going to feel that energy. The client's going to respect that from you, and respect that effort that you've made to give them the best of your ability, and they're going to pass that on to friends, family, whatever. If they end up doing reviews online, that's going to translate well for you. So anything that you do, just try to put as much effort into it as possible. Try to leave your customers, clients as satisfied as you possibly can. These are things that I've had to learn the hard way, a lot of them. The first one would be, don't feel too bad if you can't spend as much time with your family and friends as you're used to, because running a business is very time consuming. Working for yourself in general is very time consuming, because a lot of the time, even if you've got set hours in your place of business, you're gonna end up going home and having to deal with clients and DMs and text messages and phone calls. And for me, because of the kind of work that I do, it's a client facing type of job, so I'm talking to clients and getting to know people every day, all the time. So sometimes when I leave work, the last thing I want to do is talk to people, talk to friends, talk to family, which can be a bit stressful, because in yourself you feel like you're neglecting people. But if you explain your situation, a lot of the time your family and friends will understand. Don't feel bad for taking time off. I had to learn this the hard way too, because when I first went self-employed, I felt like I had to be in the salon every day or I'd lose clients. I felt like I had to be working. I was working hours from like 9 to 9 sometimes, Monday to Sunday. A lot of my relationships kind of fizzled out because of that. And obviously you need to put the hours in, but you also need to rest. You need to take time to do the things that you enjoy. If you don't, you might get to a point where you resent your work, which was kind of happening to me at one point. But again, it's just finding the balance. So do not feel bad if you need to take a holiday, if you need to take a day off here and there. Your clients will understand it. Just don't be an island. So this is again with networking. Like I mentioned, I'm kind of shy, so I tend to keep to myself a lot. I feel like I have to do everything myself. I feel like no one kind of wants to hear my problems, so I've got to solve it myself. But a lot of the time, if you speak to people that you trust, people that care about you, they can help more than you think. So anytime you need help, if ever anything's stressing you with the business or in general, speak to someone that you trust and just voice it. A lot of the time, even just voicing it makes it better. Sometimes bouncing off of someone else helps you come up with the idea that you need to solve whatever issue you might be having. It's hard to grow by yourself as well. So in terms of opportunities, endorsements and things like that, you need to talk to people to get those. So don't be scared to put yourself out there. Don't feel like you have to do it all by yourself. Do not rush yourself. I feel like with social media, with just the way the world is right now, everyone feels like they need to be at a certain point before they're ready to be at that point. For me, because a lot of the businesses that I've worked for in the past, salons I worked for in the past have been smaller salons that have grown. When I left, I felt like I had to compete with them. And that's the worst position to be in, to feel like you need to compete with someone else and to be successful. The only competition you should ever have is yourself. You should only aspire to be better than what you are right now. Don't feel like if you aren't doing something different every year or every month that you're stagnant or that you're not moving forward, because if you feel like that, a lot of the time you're going to push yourself into doing something that you're not ready to do. You're going to end up in a position that you might not be ready to be in, and that you can end up a lot worse off than if you had taken your time, paced yourself and build up your skill, build up your connections, and then gone into that. For me, like my personal relation to that is that everyone keeps asking me, when am I opening my salon? When am I going to go and find my own space? And sometimes I feel the pressure that I should be doing that by now, because I've mentioned that I've been doing this for about 7 years now. But I personally know that I'm not quite ready for that yet. And I have to remind myself of that every day, that when I am ready, I will do it. But for now, I know what's best for my situation. And in time, I will get to that point. But yeah, do not rush yourself. Pace yourself. When you feel like you're 100% ready, when you can take on the next level, then go for that and do that. Yeah. I'm creative, I'm spontaneous, and I'm also open-minded. Again, is to have my own salon. But along with having the salon, more important than having the salon, I should say, is building a team. Because I'm quite particular and very fussy with the quality of my work, and that's the reason why I get the clientele that I get. I've already started trying to kind of find people that I'd be happy to work with, but it's really difficult finding people who work to the same standard that I work, or have the same passion that I have, or put as much effort into their work as I put in. So that's my ultimate goal, is to find a team that works to a standard that I would like, but is also enjoys it as much as I enjoy it, and is happy to work, is as happy to work as I'm happy to work. But when I say have a team, I don't mean like have a team and let them do everything. Even when I do have my own salon, when I do have a team that works with me, I still want to be in the salon myself and doing nails, because for me it's always been a hobby. So it's not something that I'm just doing for now till I get to a point where I don't have to do it anymore. I kind of always want to engage with my clients. I still want to be able to do my nails and do nail art and express myself creatively, but I don't want to have to do it. I think that's the ultimate goal, to be in a position where I can do it by choice. Even though I do it by choice now, I want to be in a position where I can do it because I want. So it always remains a hobby. I can do it because I want to be doing it. So I've got the option to be in the salon working physically, and then also the option not to be, because this is where being a woman, and you think about having a family and stuff, I want to be in a position where I can balance my work life and my home life and be happy. Like, I don't feel like one outweighs the other. I want to be in a position where I can balance them both and just, live my best life. That's it.